Om Shri Sai Namaha. Let's read chapter 12. Sai Leela's experience of Kaka Mahajani, Dhumal pleader, Mrs. Nimonkar, Mulay Shastri, a doctor. Now let us see in this chapter how devotees were received and treated by Baba. Saint's mission. We have seen before that the purpose or object of divine incarnation is to protect the good and destroy the wicked. But the mission of the saints is quite different. To them, the good and the wicked are the same. First, they feel for the evildoers and set them on the right path. They are like the Agasti to destroy the Bhavsagar, the ocean of worldly existence, or like the sun to the darkness of ignorance. The Lord dwells into the saints. In fact, they are not different from Him. Our Sai is one of these, who incarnated for the welfare of the devotees, supreme in knowledge and surrounded with divine luster. He loved all beings equally. He was unattached. Foes and friends, kings and paupers were the same to Him. Here His powers. For the sake of devotees, He spent His stock of merits and was ever alert to help them. But the devotees could never approach Him unless He meant to receive them. If their turn did not come, Baba did not remember them, and His Leelas could not reach their ears. Then, how could they think of seeing Him? Some men desired to see Sai Babas, but they did not get any opportunity of taking His darshan till His Mahasamadhi. There are many such persons whose desire for Baba's darshan was not thus satisfied. If these persons, believing in Him, listen to His Leelas, their quest for milk darshan will be, to great extent, satisfied by the buttermilk Leelas. If some persons went there by sheer luck and took Baba's darshan, were they able to stay there longer? No. Nobody could go there of his own accord, and nobody could stay there long even if he so wished. They could stay there so long as Baba permitted them to stay, and had to leave the place when asked to do so by Baba. So everything depended of Baba's will. Kaka Mahajani. Once Kaka Mahajani went to Shirdi from Bombay. He wanted to stay there for 1 week and enjoy the Gokulashtami festival. As soon as he took Baba's darshan, Baba asked him, "When are you returning home?" He was rather surprised at this question, but he had to give an answer. He said that he would go home when Baba ordered him to do so. Then Baba said, "Go tomorrow." Baba's word was law and had to be obeyed. Kaka Mahajani therefore left Shirdi immediately. When he went to his office in Bombay, he found that his employer was anxiously waiting for him. His Munim, that is the manager, suddenly fell ill, hence Kaka's presence was absolutely necessary. He had sent a letter to Kaka at Shirdi, which was redirected to him at Bombay. Bhau Sahib Dhumal. Now listen to an opposite story. Once Bhau Sahib Dhumal, a pleader, was going to Nifad for a case. On the way, he came to Shirdi, took Baba's darshan, and wanted to proceed to Nifad immediately. But Baba did not permit him to do so. He made him stay at Shirdi for a week or more. In the meanwhile, the magistrate at Nifad suffered intensely from pain in his abdomen, and the case was adjourned. Mr. Dhumal was then allowed to go and attend to his case. It went on for some months and was tried by 4 magistrates. Ultimately, Mr. Dhumal won the case and his client was acquitted. Mrs. Nimonkar. Mr. Nana Sahib Nimonkar, Vatandar of Noman, an honorary magistrate, was staying at Shirdi with his wife. Mr. and Mrs. Nimonkar were spending most of their time in the masjid with Baba and serving him. It so happened that their son fell ill at Belapur, and the mother decided, with Baba's consent, to go to Belapur and see her son and other relatives and stay there for a few days. But Mr. Nana Sahib asked her to return the next day. The lady was in a fix and did not know what to do, but her god Sai came to her help. While leaving Shirdi, she went to Baba, who was standing in front of Sateswada with Mr. Nana Sahib and others, and prostrated at his feet and asked his permission to go. Baba said to her, "Go, go quickly, be calm and unperturbed. Stay comfortably at Belapur for 4 days, see all your relatives, and then return to Shirdi." How opportune were Baba's words. Mr. Nana Sahib's proposal was overruled by Baba's decree. Mulay Shastri of Nasik. An orthodox Agnihotri Brahmin of Nasik by name Mulay Shastri, who had studied the 6 Shastras and was well versed in astrology and palmistry, once came to Shirdi to see Mr. Bapu Sahib Bhuti, the famous millionaire of Nagpur. After seeing him, he and others went to see Baba in the masjid. Baba bought various fruits and other things from vendors with his own money and distributed them to the persons present in the masjid. Baba used to press the mango on all sides so skillfully that when any person received it from Baba and sucked it, he got all the pulp at once in his mouth and could throw away the stone and the skin forthwith. Plantains were peeled off by Baba and the kernel was distributed to the devotees. While the skins were retained by Baba for himself, Mulay Shastri, as a palmist, wanted to examine Baba's hand or palm and requested him to extend the same. Baba ignored his request and gave 4 plantains to him. Then they all returned to the Vada and Mulay Shastri bathed, wore sacred clothes and started his routine duties as Agnihotra, etc. Then Baba, as usual, started for Lendi and said, "Take some geru, that is a red mirri substance, to dye clothes in saffron color. We shall today don saffron colored cloth." None understood what Baba meant. Then after some time, when Baba returned and preparations for the noon aarti were being made, Bapu Sahib Jog asked Mulay Shastri whether he would accompany him for the aarti. He replied that he would see Baba in the afternoon. Very soon Baba sat on his seat, was worshipped by the devotees, and aarti commenced. Then Baba said, "Get some dakshina from the new Nasik Brahmin." Bhuti himself went to get the dakshina, and when he gave Baba's message to Mulay Shastri, he was sorely perplexed. He thought in his mind thus, "I am a pure Agnihotri Brahmin. Why should I pay dakshina? Baba may be a great saint. I am not his dependent." But as a great saint like Sai Baba was asking for dakshina through a millionaire like Bhuti, he could not refuse. So leaving his routine unfinished, he forthwith started with Bhuti to the masjid. Thinking himself holy and sacred, and the masjid otherwise, he remained at a distance, and joining his hands threw flowers at Baba. Then all of a sudden, he saw no Baba on the seat, but saw his late Guru Gholab Swami there. He was wonderstruck. Could this be a dream? No, it was not, as he was wide awake. But though awake, how could his late Guru Gholab be there? He was speechless for some time. He pinched himself and thought again, but could not reconcile the fact of his late Guru Gholab being in the masjid. Ultimately, leaving all doubt, he went up, fell at his Guru's feet, and then getting up stood there with folded hands. Other people sang Baba's Aarti. While Mulay Shastri chanted his Guru's name, then casting off all pride of caste and ideas about sacredness, he fell flat at his Guru's feet and closed his eyes. When he got up and opened his eyes, he saw Baba asking for dakshina. Seeing Baba's blissful form and his inconceivable power, Mulay Shastri forgot himself. He was extremely pleased. His eyes were full of tears of joy. He again saluted Baba and gave the dakshina. He said that his doubt was removed and that he saw his own Guru. On seeing his wonderful Leela of Baba, all the people, including Mulay Shastri, were much moved, and they realized the meaning of Baba's words. Being Geru, bring Geru, we shall don saffron-colored garment. Such is the wonderful Leela of Baba. A doctor. Once a Mamlatdar came to Shirdi with a doctor friend of his. The doctor said that his deity was Rama and that he would not bow before a Mohammedan, and so he was unwilling to go to Shirdi. The Mamlatdar replied that nobody would press him to make a bow, nor would ask him to do so he should come and give the pleasure of his company. Accordingly, they come to Shirdi and went to the masjid for Baba's darshan. All were wonderstruck to see the doctor going ahead and saluting Baba. They asked him how he forgot his resolve and bowed before a Mussalman. Then the doctor replied that he saw his beloved deity Rama on the seat and he therefore prostrated himself before him. Then, as he was saying this, he saw Sai Baba there again. Being dismayed, he said, "Is this a dream? How could he be a Mohammedan? He is a great Yoga Sampanna, full of Yoga avatar." Next day, he made a vow and began to fast. He absented himself from the masjid, resolving not to go there until Baba blessed him. 3 days passed, and on the 4th day, a close friend of his from Khandesh turned up, and with him he went to the masjid for Baba's darshan. After the salutation, Baba asked him whether anybody had gone to call him, so that he had come. Hearing this vital question, the doctor was moved. The same night, he was blessed by Baba and he experienced the bliss supreme in his sleep. Then he left for his town, where they experienced the same state of a fortnight. Thus his devotion to Sai Baba increased manifold. The moral of all the stories mentioned above, especially that of Mulay Shastri, is this, that we should have firm faith in our Guru and nowhere else. More Leelas of Sai Baba will be described in the next chapter. Bow to Shri Sai, peace to be all. Om Namo Shri Sai Nadaya Namaha. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.